Happy Tuesday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang practice session, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this practice session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These practice sessions are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, you'll receive a lecture about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. So I have been, and thank you, Eddie, this inner satsang concept that you were just talking about, the way it started. I was actually thinking about one of the strands that there were multiple satsang streams came out of my grandfather's guru. So he actually asked multiple people to, kind of promote this approach to inner peace. And one of them, the prime minister, actually in India, went to, their ashram and gave a speech, so that was happening. And then my yoga instructor actually got one of the books published from there. And then he asked me, so he's talking about my grandfather's guru. And he said, like, I looked at that and he looks very similar to your grandfather. And I'm like, wow. So that kind of reminded me. So this just happened today. And so I was explaining to him that one of the aspects of this satsang is that, what you think you become, what you observe eventually becomes, it actually, it's almost like if you want to, people say role models and even like you think about where you want to be. And if you keep manifesting that, you will achieve that. And that works at so many different levels, spiritually as well. And so one of the aspects, like initially when Guru Maharaj, started, with his guru, it actually, the concept is called tavazze, which is in Urdu, and that means attention, I think, loosely speaking, but attention of a very, very intense, almost like intense manifestation. So intense manifestation, attention, and another word that I heard from my daughter was embodiment. So embodiment of what you are trying to achieve. And if you find what you want to achieve in like personified, which is what my grandfather used to say, he found, he tried so many things, he learned so many meditation practices, so many yogic practices, etc., etc. He did serve in Arya Samaj, which was another, very popular and more forward-thinking kind of organization at that time in the early 1900s in India. And it still exists. And, but all that was happening. But, when he met his guru, everything, according to him, like there was a huge transformation. And he learned what is that what we practice here from him in a way that he actually would think of him as the source of the transcendental energy that we we manifest transcendental energy, but he was like for him, the source was his guru. So he was 24/7 connected, thinking about him. So much so that not only from the inside, but even externally, he started looking like him, like physically. And so one incident that I had heard when I was very young, and keep hearing that, but that once he was visiting his guru, Lalaji Maharaj, and he was, so there was a patio, and he was sitting out there, and there was some construction going on. So the contractor came and he had his invoice and he gave it to him, thinking that it was Lalaji Maharaj rather than, Guru Maharaj. So, so basically, he had started resembling so much that this contractor who was interacting with his guru all the time actually thought it was him. So very, very interesting. And I there was another, like when I was talking about inner peace, one of the things was that, there's so many ways to, look in words and try to find the, peace where it is. If you will start finding where it actually is, then the probability of finding it will become so much more, and so on and so forth. So one of the things, after describing, so this is what he himself has done in his book. In one of the chapters, he talks about like various ways that you can find inner peace, including, again, the practice that we do here, which we will shortly. But he actually says that if you find someone who is at that level of peace that it has become very infectious, then you don't have to do anything. Literally, like it will be in that presence, you will find peace. And so it kind of so one of the questions that comes up in everybody's mind is like, okay, so Lalaji Maharaj and Guru Maharaj not in their physical form now, then how does that process work? And I think, Eddie, you had talked about this, that, what Guru Maharaj did was when exactly the steps that happened in which he attained enlightenment, he captured all the parts and pieces and created this process, which, if you follow through properly, the way he acquired it, all that is inbuilt into the process here. So anyway, so I thought, I was thinking about, its embodiment, manifestation, and tavazze, which is intense attention. Actually, when I think about tavazze, it also brings in another, just to explain that concept. So one of the things, so before I get distracted within myself very quickly. But, so when I think about tawazeh, it is one of the pictures that comes to illustrate what that means is like, say, when someone you love, someone who's very close, becomes very ill. So connotation or the backdrop is not very positive, but think about that attention, like it consumes you. You're always thinking about it. So when a mother takes care of a baby which is not well, for example, in some cases it becomes that attention is all that infant needs to survive. It's very powerful. I've personally read stories of survival of infants just because the mother didn't give up. That intensity or more is what I mean when I think about the tawazeh. And how deep and intriguing it is that my grandfather writes in his book his own story, and where he says that when he met his guru, in the sense that he just met him, and because so eventually he will become his guru. But when they met, it was because Lalaji Maharaj's wife was ill, and my grandfather was a homeopathic doctor, so he started taking care of her, and they met, and they were like, he thought he was a good person, and he was kind of attracted towards him, that it's, he could learn some, he felt that he was very, very good person, and it was something that he was intrigued by his poise, and so, but he said, like, he didn't find anything that would display that it was a normal relationship. And they met over months, and there was no discussion about any spiritual topics, any religious topics, nothing. And just the plague happened, families went into some deeper rural areas, and they both went and stayed in a big house on the top of a hill there. And that is when he documents that what later on became clear. So he started working on tawazeh and so my grandfather's guru actually started, purifying him in some ways, without even telling him anything or doing anything. It was just, and later on, so then he started walking by the river with his guru, and one fine day he said, okay, let me teach you some meditation. And he saw this light coming into his heart, and then he felt very light. And it was he said it was such amazing experience that he forgot about time and where he was. And what he was doing and everything. It was just, lifted to a completely different plane. And that's where he started. And it's a long story, but, this whole process started because, his guru kind of felt that he could receive this energy, get cleansed because he was kind of ready. And, once he got to it, then he caught on and pursued it to a point where, his guru said, like, okay, now you're ready to go and share this with others. So that's what we'll do now. And we can, if there are any questions or comments, we can discuss after the meditation. So again, the whole concept is that what you think you become, what you observe you become. So we think about this transcendental energy right here, right now with us. And it's in form of light. That light is coming into our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we're becoming one with this light. If, mind wanders away, which it will, bring it back to this thought and this thought alone. Any other practices, breath work, anything, mindfulness, chanting, you can do before and after, and it actually will become better with this process. But during this time, it's only observing this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we're becoming one with this light. If, just to so we start with inward orientation, which is, helped by a still posture. So relaxed and still posture, eyes lightly closed for the same reason, because sensory input distracts our mind. So eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture. And then think about this transcendental energy. So the object of concentration here is this transcendental energy. And so inward orientation and concentration is where it starts. And then we also will start with some music. Then music fades away because, once the music fades away, we go into deep silent meditation. And the resulting higher consciousness just happens, So all these 4 limbs of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, they are all part of any meditation practice, or ought to be. So I call this inner yoga. So that's what we'll practice now. So still, relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed. Think about this transcendental energy in form of light in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we're becoming one with this light. Let's start now. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope everyone had, a good weekend. So, Eddie, anything you want to add? Any questions, comments from anyone else?
I just remember something that Guru Maharaj had wrote, and that was that, when, well, he basically said that he can take anyone to, the ultimate state of peace or the ocean of bliss, in a minute. But he said, that wouldn't be good for anyone because you have to be ready, you have to be prepared. And so I just wanted to make mention of that. We're all basically have that opportunity to, to have that kind of energy infused in us. But it doesn't really happen like he said until you're ready for it. And so the way that we get ready for it is to practice as much as we can and to attend satsang as often as we can. But I just wanted to mention that because we can all be there tomorrow if we were fully prepared to do that.
Yeah, it's actually for last few weeks we had been discussing the monkey mind and how the monkey mind comes in the way. So when you say, we all have the opportunity, but the same set of challenges that come against the monkey mind, things that don't let us focus and meditate, keep us from, the deeper, richer experience in terms of the bliss that you're talking about. So there was, a discussion about, so there are these challenges that keep us from, concentrating and meditating. But then in the same chapter, Panditji Maharaj, who was one of the selected few followers of this practice, who not only understood this, but my grandfather asked him to, go and so he basically traveled throughout India quite a lot to, share this process with others. So he talked about what helps concentration, what helps meditation. So, kind of tied to what you're talking about, that, yes, everyone can do it. Everyone ought, interested should be able to go there. But there are some challenges and there are some things that help. So what things help? So Yuan, do you have that slide 3? Maybe we can talk about that a little. Yuan, you there? Oh, there it is. Okay, so, Panditji Maharaj, he talks about tips to help our meditation or concentration. So, interestingly, one of the first things he says, first two things actually, don't get up, keep sitting into meditation. People used to sit for much longer meditations early on. Guru Maharaj said, 15 minutes to 30 minutes typically, but no more than 45. But once you get more closer to 30, the chances that you can get into deeper states gets higher. So, if you're not getting into it, and I have read some other books where they say, it's like maybe just think like another minute might be more helpful, another minute maybe, which will actually get you there, which will really connect you with your deeper inner self. So persist. Help someone. That cannot be underemphasized. When we help others, you get this peaceful completeness that you cannot get from anything else. So helping others, interestingly, I think a lot about, and I'm thinking about bringing a lot of new formats and structures and things around how to help the beginners in the practice. So I want to roll a few of those out, but I still very reluctant to say, okay, this is a beginner session, because all the people who are who have been practicing, who might be in advanced levels, actually need to be in those beginner sessions, because that collective energy helps. That people who have gotten a little further along are now required to help others, because this is a service of its own kind. So just think about that. Like, your being there is actually not just helping you, but helping others. So the collective energy that we, and I can literally, in my personal opinion, the group sessions, you will go farther than your individual sessions by like almost exponentially. And that my personal experience has been, and that's more true than not. And if somebody has different experience, then I definitely would like to hear from or hear about it, because that's what I very strongly believe. Sing a devotional song or anything, like chanting, to me also comes in the same framework. So when music actually can not only help you concentrate, but if you are in it, then it takes you to a different level. So all religious and spiritual practices, or lots of those, have a musical element to it for a reason. And then nothing like satsang. Sit with satsangis, be with satsangis. And this more, here he literally means in person. There was, interestingly, I was about to say there was nothing called virtual then, but then I would say satsang was always, a connection beyond space and time as well. And I'm probably going out on a limb there, but a lot of people that were in this practice, and I heard from Panditji Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, my father. They used to, I mean, I can go talk about so many different stories and incidents, and where people were, so satsang is in person, but satsang is also connection beyond that. And people do communicate, in many ways. I mean, we talk about telepathy and other things, but I think it's more real than not. And always that was part of the satsang tradition, that inform your mentor. So satsang was typically, even at the local levels, because in all cities, once it started in India, there were local mentors, and then people will write letters, etc. So my Guru Maharaj used to write to his Guru all the time. And a lot of other people kept writing to Guru Maharaj, and even that letter writing continued till the prior generation. In my generation, it's all email and phone calls now. Try to eliminate the root cause, and the root cause probably is one of those which was in the prior one, where we were talking about all the challenges to the to concentration and meditation, the monkey mind itself. What causes the monkey mind? And fasting was another way to kind of tackle the unruliness of the mind. Distract your mind. That's, in my view, a temporary solution, but sometimes it works. And attend group meditation. So, which I think once you attend a few, then you realize it, how it helps. All right. So on that note, anything else? Before we wrap up? What if you are so blocked that you can't even picture a white light? So that question comes up so often, and I feel it's this light is a very, very subtle concept. So so let me start by just, this is counterintuitive, so just bear with me. So you see my hand because there is light here. You don't see light, you see my hand. So you see things in light. So that is why, visualizing or realizing that I actually am seeing light is kind of, but then if you look at pictures of Christ and Buddha and others, there is an aura and shows light. so it's so that's the concept is, so think about let's not get caught up and wrapped around that I have to see light. It's let's say I close my eyes and it's actually dark, but if I think about, like, when I am in a lighted room, I see everything. So I close my eyes and I feel that there is light inside and out. So it's more of that, the darkness, which is ignorance, which is needs to convert to wisdom, because light will give me that, right, transformation. So light is the vehicle through which I see clearly. So it's not that I have to literally see the light. It's this energy, this. So again, another reason why in satsangs originally people would think that the light is coming from the guru. So the reason is that you have seen that person, and that person, so you literally see that there is this energy and this light coming to me. And that could be Christ, that could be Buddha, because you don't want to visualize a photo. You want to visualize a live person whose energy is transforming you. So, so don't think of a negative with this. Think of, I am. So when you start manifesting, you don't start at a point where it's already there, right? You start where you are. And your goal is to manifest what you're trying to manifest. What are we trying to manifest here? That I am the light. I am the energy. I am the knowledge. I am, and this light, and essentially, if you step further, is like, what is that knowledge that I need to acquire, that I am complete within me? And going back to this, whole concept of who I am, understanding that I am connected to the stars, because what stars are made of this, it's the same stuff that I am made up of, right? All the molecules and elements that stars were made up of, which are billions of years old, I am made up of the same thing. So essentially, I am the universe. I am the energy. I am. So I have to realize that I don't, my body is transient, but I am not. This consciousness is part of this ocean of bliss that Eddie was talking about. So I have to look inwards and see, and realize that in this light. So that's the whole. So I hope that helps. Or does that trigger another question?
It was very helpful. Thank you.
Sure thing. So how do you pronounce your name?
Lee.
Lee.
Yes.
No, glad that you're here. And yeah, it is, yeah, let's see, the thing is that slowly we have to become able to go to the abstract things. And the concept of God, in my view, is the most abstract. So we have to start thinking beyond the physical and material existence, right? And in a way, Einstein kind of told us that, light is this connection between the energy and matter, right? So that way, it's the bridge. So it's not completely here or there. It's a more subtle concept. Right?
I understand.
But when I first saw this video, and this person, literally said, like, "Do you see my hand? Good. You see my hand because there is light. You don't see light." So it was like, huh, that's interesting. So we don't see light. We see things in light. So very interesting. But see, I really think that, God is light, Khuda Noor hai, in, for Muslims, basically, and Guru Maharaj described that God can have many names, but it is basically a power. And that energy, so I call that transcendental, beyond the material and world. It's like what transcends the world. So this transcendental energy. So suddenly that gives me this universal view of, so even within satsang, like Dada Guru Maharaj, and Panditji Maharaj, so there are so many mentors, so many, but to me, I don't differentiate them because I feel, they became the transcendental energy. And then I think that transcendental energy is common amongst, it's Buddha, it's Christ, it's Muhammad Sahib, So Krishna consciousness, people talk about. To me, it's, this universal consciousness. Once we realize and once we think about in those terms, it's I think not only it's a unifying thought process, it's a very, very powerful way to connect with every conscious being. It's and think about our goal is to realize this higher consciousness, because that is who we are. Anyway. Now, this was so, Eddie, what's the what's oh, Taru, very helpful. You know, so it's thank you for being there for us every Tuesday and Saturday. So again, and thank you all for being here, because I was thinking, what see, it's not that I'm doing anybody else a favor. It's actually good for me. It's and it is something that we all need to do for ourselves. You know, I personally consider this as a me time and us time at the same time. it's interesting. But yeah, I'm very glad. It's you know, when I go to India, it's thousands of people in these sessions. But I like these sessions because you know, it's a way I give back to the local community, and I want to double down now. So for last few months, I had been thinking that why there is, you know, the community around satsang, because satsang is such a positive backdrop to have a, you know, more closer knit community, in the sense that we take care of each other, we help each other in the spiritual growth, answer any questions, issues. And so I really want to help out, you know, in ways that the connectivity is better and the whole process is more complete. So I've been thinking about, like, how do we help the beginners join in and you know, be there for a few more sessions, so that they understand that this can actually elevate your state more efficiently, more effectively, while it will still not make you think that you're making that much progress, which is a beauty of its own, because the more you feel that you're making progress, the more ego gets fueled. So you should stay grounded, but get deeper and deeper in terms of this inner happiness, which continues to elevate, and which then helps you feel better and behave better. So it's a very intricate, you know, how all this is interconnected. So I want to explain that more. So put more resources, more courses around it, and then create this community that helps each other out. So let's see. Hoping in next few weeks we should have something like that. More beginner resources, more videos, more courses. So yeah, not only I want to be here every Tuesday and Saturday, but I want to do a little more to make sure that it gets to help the beginners a lot more than it has so far. Especially, you know, somebody comes, attends one or two. I mean, I think if they attend a few in a row and, you know, still don't get it, then it's okay. You know, the personalities like different things, that Guru Maharaj used to say too. It's not everything is everybody's cup of tea. But once you, at least you should have a good few sessions. And once you, get that, then you will be hooked to this, deeper, serene feeling, which continues to grow. So vertical ascent. Yeah. So yeah, I at the same time, as I was just thinking about, so I'm really planning, I'm actually working with a few freelancers to create a whole new website and some resources attached to it. But what I was thinking was that I want to create a virtual first, because it gives more flexibility, the effort to travel and to, but still in person is a must. So you cannot graduate without it being in person. So, Eddie and Liz, have and a lot of others here have come to in person, but in person, the collective energy and the connectivity and the whole experience goes further. So I'm all about virtual first. I started the virtual sessions against the wind. Like everybody in India was like, what is this? Why are you wishing for this? And I kept going. And in the pandemic, it helped thousands and thousands of people. But I believe virtual first, but in person needs to be part of this if you really want to go, the next, like it cannot be, it has to be integral part of the practice. So we need to think about that as well. So Eddie, any wrap-up thoughts? I have been just going off on and on today.
I just encourage everyone to keep asking questions. Not only does it test your understanding and clarify ideas and concepts, but it also helps everyone else in this satsang. So, continue to do that. I certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, have a great week ahead. We'll see you all on the weekend or very soon. Love, light, and peace. So, love, joy, peace, wisdom, and light, all this kind of go hand in hand. It's an integral web. All right, on that note, see you all soon. Thank you for being here.
Dada Channel Express, Namaskar.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaskar.